Hey everybody, Sassy Biggons here. Just thought I'd pop on and address something that I think we've all noticed that's been happening in society, especially since the creation of technology, which has made us more codependent on this technology for a lot of our social interactions, things that we lean on, and to the point where does anyone know how to make friends anymore? Seriously. Either one, we're so out of practice that we just end up treating each other like crap. So that's not really a friendship. Two, in some ways, we're almost lied by sitcoms and whatnot because they make everyone so chummy, so friendly, so with it. They call each other. They live across town, but they're still friends versus only making friends in a direct location or only making friends online, where in reality, like if you go and watch any of the How I Met Your Mother or How I Met Your Father shows, that's part of the almost like fake story that they want us all to believe because it's feel good. It's the connections that we want with other people. But in reality, how often does that actually happen? Especially if you go into younger millennial and then just go younger after that. Most people, they're pretty good at being acquaintances. You may or may not be able to pick their photo out of a lineup, but beyond that, do we actually know each other? Are we actually nice enough to like be there for people during hard times? Or are we all just treating each other like AI bots who don't feel, don't have bad things happen, or that we're so emotionally separated that we'll send money, but then that's it? It's just another way of kind of proving that what's beyond acquaintance, like how much more less than can we get with the people that are technically in our world. But we all, of course, there's that old feeling of I'm not my brother's keeper because we don't know each other that well. But at the same time, it's a cop out. If we each took the individual responsibility to pay more attention to the world around us, then we would this responsibility would make us more sensitive to the world. Like you'd see a problem, you'd want to fix it. The fixing is participating in the world. So no one's truly exempt, but also goes back to one of my favorite quotes that I thought of because of a friend of mine who's no longer a friend is we're making allowances for the excuses that we haven't made yet. And this all filters back to it. So when I ran across this video I'm going to show you on TikTok, I'm glad someone's finally saying what either one I've had a suspicion of, or it really is a bigger problem than just like a few people. It's not like the incels in Japan. No, it's in your country too, where if you got something bad, who do you reach out to? It's even just beyond your genetic family. Is there anyone who's willing to be that nice to you, that open, that's spiritually secure enough to, hold your hand through something, go grab a cup of coffee, be that unpaid therapy that I know we all need? So let me pull her up. All right.
Don't get me wrong. I have lots of acquaintances, but
Let me move this back.
I'm
Okay.
44 years old and I don't have any friends. I'm nice enough. I think I'm pretty funny. Don't get me wrong. I have lots of acquaintances, but I don't have a single person that I can call, text something funny to, or call to pick up my kids. I had thyroid cancer a couple years ago and I didn't have a single person that I could call to talk about it with. I have 4 kids. I have plenty of acquaintances, but I have never made like a solid connection. I have one friend from college who, like, we send memes back and forth. I don't know that we even have each other's phone numbers anymore. As an adult, I feel like it's so hard to make new friends. For a long time, I was in the haze of raising my kids, and now my youngest is 13. I'm past the point of feeling sorry for myself. Now I'm just in problem solving mode. At this stage in my life, I don't know how to go out and meet new people. I feel like I missed the window. I don't really know why I'm sharing this. I think that I'm sharing this because I feel like surely I cannot be the only person at this stage in life that does not have any close relationships. I see you. Hopefully, we will figure it out.
Okay. Does this sound like you in your life? Does this sound like a more common problem than we're more than willing to discuss? Truly, I mean, what does it take just to be nice to people? It's not that hard. You just have to have the guts to try and do it. I know that stage fright is like the number one problem or the number one fear for people across the world. Like recently I put a thing out where I said I wanted to interview people for the podcast. And one of the requirements is you can't have stage fright. You have to be able to go there and like truly know that you're communicating, it's clear, concise, and if people don't like what you have to say, being able to say, I don't care. Or if someone tries to judge it, truly say it's like, well, it's my opinion, that's not yours. God bless. We each have free speech. There you go. And just being able to have the maturity to do that. And you saw how old that woman was. I don't think it's a getting older thing, but if it is, like it starts when you're young and then it follows you into your older age, what kind of crescendo does it have on everybody's ordinary life? It's not good. It's not pretty. Uh, that's bad. I mean, I know therapy has been, I mean, it's always been slightly popular, but in recent times, it's almost like a pandemic of therapy. It's like, it's to replace the friendships that we're not mature enough to make, we're not socially acclimated to make. Basically, we're just wussy pussies with each other. That's all it boils down to. And it's almost like a fear of failure, kind of. I mean, failure is everywhere. Why should we be afraid of it necessarily? Failure is a key to learning. So why are we so afraid to learn about each other and learn? This weakness that it seems to create is beyond sad. I mean, is Joe Rogan like a new hero? Not because he's a podcast or he's interesting or does the work or any of that stuff. Is it just because he's willing to talk to somebody else and everyone else is like in their closet saying, "Oh, so brave." Or that's another reason I want someone who is good with speaking in public or at least has a basic level at stand up or a couple presentations because you have to be able to think on your feet and know people are going to see it. It's like you can't be afraid of your art. Or like you can't be like I can't be afraid of, let's say someone watches it and they say all the stuff behind me is ugly. I don't care. I still have freedom of speech, but God bless your opinion. I mean, I don't think it's ugly, but at the same time, I respect your opinion to think it. And I will, in some ways, fight for your opinion because if we don't have opinions, what are we left with? We'll have silence and people going back to their cubicles. I'm not going to live in a cubicle world. Thank you very much. Just no, it's not happening. I mean, that's why I'm so glad Roseanne Barr finally said what I've been saying to myself all these years, which is comedy is how some people can connect to God. It's not just the sarcasm and the negativity and how you can flip stuff around or the wit and the rhetoric of fancy creative thought coming out your mouth. No, it's more than that. It's almost like you do have a discussion with God. You might say a few condescending things to yourself, but then you flip it around and it becomes something funny. It's you learn to laugh with God. And then if it happens, you can use it somewhere else because God doesn't, well, I'm sure he cares a little bit if you swear, but at the same time, as long as you don't take his name in vain, he knows you. He's good with it. No, he doesn't care necessarily if you have to find your darkness so that the light is that much brighter. And if that's the process of getting you closer to your God or your ideas and truly knowing yourself and being confident in that, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with finding a weird, I won't call it weird, but an uncommon way of being secure in your spirituality, yourself, your creator, the whole world? And that's when we get into my other favorite quote, which I'm pretty sure I've done at least one other video on, which is don't F with happy. Do not F with your happy. Do not F with someone else's happy. Even though this woman is talking more about how no one else in the world cares whether or not she's happy. This observation is very, very important. If we don't care about each other, we are effing with happy. And you want to die and then go up to heaven, theoretically, if you believe in that, and have them say, "So, how'd you live your life?" It was like watching paint dry. My life was like watching paint dry. Who wants, that's no, I want something better. I mean, I may not do the craziest stuff in the world, like I'll never go wind sailing. I'll never climb a rock wall. Um, I'll never eat that horrible fermented shark stuff from Iceland. But that doesn't mean I can't share, give, whatever in the world around me. Make a few mukbang videos. See any new restaurants where I live because there's a lot of them, and I'm pretty sure that people are going to be eating out a whole lot more where I live with the new administration as far as president goes. And we don't live that far from where the oil refineries are in Houston. So I know this state particularly is gonna have a little extra cash and everybody's gonna want to know where to eat. So it's a contributing thing. It's not much, or as I used to think when I was younger. Can't we find a better way to waste our time before we die? And if that means to include other people in that ride, why not? You can't have Thelma without Louise. You can't. You can't have Butch without Sundance. You just can't. You can't have Mrs. Brady without all the rest of those people. You just can't. You can't have Captain Kirk without the whole crew from the Star Trek Enterprise or Star Trek. If I said that wrong, so sorry. It's been a while since I've seen any of it. But you're getting my drift here. People have fun and journeys because they bring other people with them who want to be there and to contribute and to share in it. Life's a feast. Get hungry. So we don't have horrible little tick. Oh, no, it's not horrible. Unfortunate and slightly sad videos from TikTok of this woman kind of giving her heart out, saying, "Is it me or is it the world?" She doesn't know. From my view, it's both. So stop letting it be both. Life is short. Join something. Have fun. Peace out. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which is probably a long list, but have fun anyway. Go out somewhere to eat, meet someone, and hopefully they don't treat you as badly as I know people can. Bye, all.